Good day, everyone. Out of the 11 organ system of the body, I decided to discuss to you the skeletal system. So let's first define what is a skeletal system. So the skeletal system is the framework of the body consisting of the bones and other connective tissues that supports and protects the body tissues and the internal organs. So usually the human skeleton has 206 bones, 6 of which are the tiny bones in the middle ear that function in hearing. We have also the 5 main functions of the skeletal system in the body. First is for the structure of the body, second is for the movement, third is for the protection, the fourth one is for the blood cell production, and lastly is for the nutrient storage. And the skeletal system is divided into two, the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. So let's first discuss all about the axial skeleton. The axial skeleton. The axial skeleton is structured from 80 bones segregated into 3 major regions: the skull, the vertebral column, and the bony thorax. The skull. It is the body's most complex bony structure, and it is formed by 2 sets of bones, the cranial bones and the facial bones. For the cranial bones or the cranium, we have 8 bones in total. We have the paired parietal and temporal bone, the frontal, the occipital, the sphenoid, and the ethmoid. So these 8 bones of the cranial or cranium are responsible to enclose and protect the fragile brain and the organs of the hearing and equilibrium. So next is we have the facial bones. The facial bones consist of 14 bones in total, and the only unpaired one here is the mandible and the vomer, while the maxilla, the zygomatic, the lacrimal, the nasal, the palatine bone, and the inferior nasal concave are paired. So these facial bones are responsible for the following. First is for the framework of the face. Second is to hold the eyes in an anterior position. Third is to provide cavities for the organs of taste and smell, and openings for the passages of the air and food. The fourth one is to secure the teeth, and lastly is to anchor the facial muscle of expression, which we use to show our feelings. So the skull bones are commonly flat bones, except for the mandible, and so these other bones are firmly united or connected with a mobile interlocking joint called the suture. So there are major sutures like the coronal, the sagittal, the squamous, and the lambdoidal. We also have the occipitomastoid. So these sutures connects the cranial bones. The other sutures or the other skull sutures connects the facial bones, and they are named accordingly to the specific bones they are connected. We have also the special parts for the skull. We have the orbit, the nasal cavity, the paranasal sinuses, and the hyoid bone. The vertebral column. The vertebral column is also called as the spine. It is formed from 26 irregular bones connected in such a way that a flexible curve results. So these are the cervical bones, the thoracic bones, the lumbar bones, the sacrum, and the coccyx. As you can see, we have the 7 cervical vertebrae, the 12 thoracic vertebrae, the 5 lumbar vertebrae, the sacrum, and the coccyx. The bony thorax. Automatically, the thorax is the chest, and the bony underpinnings are called the bony thorax or the thoracic cage. The elements forming the bony thorax includes the thoracic vertebrae, the ribs, the sternum, and the costal cartilages. We have here the ribs, which is classified into true ribs, false ribs, and the hanging ribs. We also have the costal cartilages, which is the yellow one, and the green one is the sternum. The bones of the appendicular skeleton are adapted to carry out the movements typical of our freewheeling and manipulative lifestyle. It includes the pectoral girdle, the upper limb, the pelvic girdle, and the lower limb. The pectoral or shoulder girdle. We have two pectoral girdle, and these two pectoral girdle together with the associated muscle formed our shoulders, and they are responsible for the attachment of the upper limbs to the axial skeleton. And for the information of everyone, each of the pectoral girdle we have consists of only one scapula and one clavicle. The scapula articulate with the clavicles and with the humerus bones of the arms. The clavicles hold the scapula laterally away from the thorax. The upper limb. Each of the upper limb consists of 30 bones and is specialized for mobility. The upper limb includes the arm, the forearm, and the hands. The arm is composed solely by the humerus, while the forearm is composed by the ulna and radius, and the hands are composed with the carpals, metacarpals, and the phalanges. We have here the humerus, the radius, the ulna, the carpals, the metacarpals, and the phalanges. The pelvic girdle or the hip girdle is a heavy structure that is specialized for weight bearing. It is composed of two coxal bones that secure the lower limb to the axial skeleton. Together with the sacrum, the coxal bone form the basin-like bony pelvis. And each of the coxal bone consists of the three fused bones, the ilium, the ischium, and the pubis. We have here the ilium, the pubic bone or the pubis, and the ischium. The lower limb. The lower limb carry out the entire weight of the erect body and are subjected for exceptional forces when we jump or run. It is because lower limb is specialized for weight bearing and locomotion. The lower limb includes the thigh, the leg, and the foot. The thigh is solely composed with the femur, while the leg is composed with the fibula and the tibia, and the foot is composed with the metatarsals, tarsals, and the phalanges. We have here the femur, the tibia, the fibula, the tarsals, metatarsals, and the phalanges. Hi everyone, so that was the end of my short discussion about the skeletal system, and I hope whoever could watch this video, I hope you've learned something from me, and that's it. This is Arian Kaye Bignotea, a Bachelor of Science in Nursing first-year student at Colegio de Santa Lourdes of Leyte Foundation Incorporated, officially saying bye-bye.